Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into fascinating topics and really try to extract the essential insights.
That's the goal.
Today, we're embarking on what feels like a deeply personal journey, but I think it resonates much wider. It's all about the dynamic world of AI chatbots.
A world changing almost daily, it feels like.
Exactly. And this particular deep dive, it was sparked by a rather dramatic shift, quite a brutal one, actually, for our listener in their daily workflow.
Ah, yes. When the tools we rely on suddenly change, it can be jarring.
Jarring is putting it mildly. So our mission today is really to unpack a listener's recent, very hands-on exploration of this whole AI chatbot ecosystem.
Okay.
We'll look into the compelling reasons behind their, frankly, surprising switch. They moved from a familiar, dominant player to a newcomer that wasn't really on many people's radar.
Interesting. Always curious about the disruptors.
We'll delve into what features genuinely matter for power users, those really navigating this rapidly evolving space.
Right, the ones pushing the boundaries.
And maybe touch on how these sort of deeply ingrained national philosophies might subtly yet profoundly shape the software we all interact with every day.
That's a fascinating angle. Software as a cultural artifact, almost.
Almost, yeah.
Huh.
And maybe most importantly, we'll witness this really powerful moment where user voices, yours included, potentially truly made a difference in how AI develops. A bit of a triumphant end note.
Always good to hear when users have an impact.
So this whole journey, like so many tech narratives seem to, began with an update to ChatGPT.
The big one.
The big one. Our listener described it in, well, no uncertain terms, brutal. They felt it effectively destroyed the app for their specific needs.
Strong words. Destroyed how?
The drastic reduction in available AI models, that was the core issue. It left them, and I suspect many others, scrambling to find a new digital home for their, intricate AI-powered workflows.
Okay, so it wasn't just a UI tweak. It was about losing functionality they depended on.
Precisely. It turned a trusted tool into a source of, well, immense frustration overnight.
Yeah, what's truly fascinating here is the ripple effect. These seemingly internal platform changes can have huge consequences, especially within such a dominant AI ecosystem like OpenAI's.
Right, you don't expect your main tool to just change fundamentally.
Exactly. And for users who've meticulously woven specific AI capabilities into their daily tasks, whether it's writing, coding, research, creative stuff.
Things they do every single day.
Right. Any abrupt alteration can be incredibly disruptive. So this personal story from our listener, it isn't just an isolated incident, is it?
Doesn't sound like it.
No, it perfectly illustrates this broader ongoing tension in the tech world. You've got this drive for mass market simplicity on one side.
Make it easy for everyone.
Which often means streamlining features, reducing options, maybe dumbing things down a bit for accessibility. And on the other side, you have the very real, often highly sophisticated needs of advanced users.
The power users.
The power users, yeah. They need depth, nuance, customizability. It's that classic conundrum. How do you cater to the masses without alienating your most advanced, often most innovative users?
Especially when those users are often the ones really showing what the tech can do.
Precisely. So this particular update, maybe minor to some, potentially derailed the productivity of others. It really highlights that challenge for developers balancing these diverse user needs.
So the stage was set.
Mm-hmm.
An urgent quest began. Find a better AI companion.
Out of necessity.
Completely out of necessity. And the direct catalyst, the thing that really lit the fire, was what our listener vividly called ChatGPT's robot massacre.
Memorable term.
Isn't it? They were quite literally thrown into the deep end when OpenAI implemented this significant and crucially unannounced change. The liquidation, as they put it, of 7 older AI models.
7 models. Just gone.
Gone.
Right.
Vanished. Imagine relying on this suite of specialized tools, each maybe slightly different, and poof, they disappear overnight, no warning.
Wow. Okay, if we connect that to the bigger picture, you really see the impact. Many users, especially the sophisticated ones, had developed these, what did the source call them? Precisely customized workflows.
Yeah, built around the specific personalities or the expert focus of those models.
Right, it wasn't just losing a bot, it was losing that specific tool, the one fine-tuned for a particular task. Our listener mentioned one, didn't they?
They did, yeah. The O4 Mini High.
O4 Mini High. They found it much better for coding tasks, right? Valued its precision, less verbose output.
Compared to the newer 4.0 model, which they called chatty and often erroneous for code.
Exactly. So O4 Mini High was built for coding accuracy. 4.0 maybe more general, a bit more conversational. perhaps sacrificing some technical focus.
Makes sense. Different tools for different jobs.
Precisely. And this abrupt change, without a single word of prior warning, as the source stressed, created this profound void. It wasn't just an inconvenience for many, it was a complete disruption of routines that were working really well.
So in the wake of this vacuum, our listener starts this intense search. Almost frantic, it sounds like.
Understandably.
After nearly a week of intensive research, practical testing, comparing platforms, an unexpected champion emerged. Monica.m.
Monica.aim. Okay, not the first name that usually comes to mind.
Not at all. Our listener described it simply as a Chinese multi-robotic app, but for them, it quickly became the undisputed clear winner.
The clear winner against giants like ChatGPT itself or ChatHub, Perplexity, Gemini.
Yeah, all of which they acknowledged were high-quality robotic apps.
So the critical question is, what did Monica.aim offer? What made it stand out so much in that competitive field? It must have had something unique, something compelling.
It did. Well, they said Monica offers a comparable, maybe slightly lower number of robots overall compared to something like ChatUp.gg.
Okay, so not just sheer quantity?
No. The core differences were the absolute game changers. They really focused on two main things.
Two key differentiators. Let's hear them.
First one, seamless online data storage.
Ah, okay. That sounds simple, but it's actually huge for workflow.
Huge. It's not just convenience, right? It's critical if you're working on complex, ongoing AI interactions.
Totally. Imagine brainstorming a project or drafting a report or debugging code over days.
Starting on your desktop, then grabbing your tablet.
Picking it up on your phone later. Without online storage, you're constantly losing context, copying and pasting history, basically restarting your thought process every time you switch.
Nightmare.
Right. So Monica.am, allowing chats to just continue seamlessly across devices, desktop, mobile, tablet, directly addresses that fundamental need for continuity. It eliminates friction, preserves context. That's powerful.
It really is. Our source did add a caveat, though.
The storage location.
Yeah, that this storage happens on Chinese servers, which, might raise privacy flags for some.
A valid consideration for many users, definitely. But clearly, for this listener, the functional benefit outweighed that concern.
It seems so. Okay, so that was the first big thing. The second crucial differentiator. Monica.aim's ability to display reactions from multiple robots directly in the current thread.
Oh, interesting. So not in separate panes or tabs like ChatHub.
Exactly. They said ChatHub keeps the bots isolated from each other, each in its own subpane. Monica puts them all together, side by side, in the same conversation flow.
Wow. Okay, that feature of integrated multi-bot responses, that's genuinely revolutionary for comparison.
Right. Imagine asking something complex.
Like, I don't know, explain the impact of quantum computing on financial modeling.
Yeah.
And instantly seeing GPT-4o's take, Claude Sonnet's more nuanced view, Gemini Pro's deep dive on applications all at once.
Side by side.
That fosters a much more comparative and potentially way more insightful experience. You can immediately see different angles, spot agreements, contradictions, sort of triangulate the best answer.
It directly addressed what our listener called their two biggest complaints about other platforms like ChatHub. No seamless continuity, and that fragmented view of bots.
So it transforms the interaction from, like, sequential queries to a parallel holistic exploration, puts the user in the driver's seat as the final judge of information.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so features were key, absolutely. But the ultimate decider, as it often is,
Let me guess.
money. Bingo. Cost. The standard annual price for Monica.aim is 220 euros, which, as our listener noted, is pretty comparable to Perplexity.
And ChatGPT.
ChatGPT Plus is 264 euros annually.
Yeah.
So Monica already had a slight edge on the base price.
Okay, a bit cheaper, more features. Compelling already.
But here's where the story gets really good. The layered discounts, it was almost serendipitous.
Ooh.
First, they found an online coupon. Brought the price down to 157 euros for the first year. Pretty good deal.
Significant saving. Yeah.
But then, in this truly memorable moment, not in their office, but on a night bus after a football match.
Ah, you're kidding. On a night bus.
Seriously, they encountered an even better special offer. Just 135 euros for the first year.
Wow. Talk about dynamic pricing meeting opportunity.
Right. It just vividly highlights how pricing, timing, accessibility, the right deal at the right slightly random moment can seal the deal, even for sophisticated tools.
It wasn't just the features, it was value meeting chance. Fantastic.
And for anyone listening who's curious, our listener shared the link they used,
Oh.
https:// STT6YCSQZUW. We'll put that in the notes. They were so sold, they bought the subscription right there on the bus.
Incredible. Now that's user commitment, finding the right tool wherever you are.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more, because this is where our listeners' experience opens up something broader and really quite thought-provoking. It's about the philosophy behind software design.
Right. The why behind the what.
Exactly. Our listener, after using Monica.am, noted its fabulous interface, its extensive functions, and concluded it was clearly Chinese, not American software. And they had a specific, pretty strong observation about design approaches behind that.
Okay, this observation about American software aiming for a certain primitivism may be linked to Steve Jobs' legacy. That sparks a really interesting debate.
It does. The source suggests American software often tends to, or even wants to be, primitive to some extent.
Primitive how, though? Not just simple UI, presumably.
No, it points to this underlying belief about who software is for and what its main goal should be.
Okay.
The rationale they put forward, which they say is common, is that if the software were too intelligent, it would deter the majority of the population who, as is known, are not intelligent.
Oof. That's a rather blunt assessment of the average user.
Very blunt. But the argument is, while this might be a correct calculation for mass adoption, simplify everything, appeal to the lowest common denominator.
Make it usable by absolutely everyone.
Comes with a profound trade-off.
And that trade-off, according to the source, hits the people who need intelligent software for work.
The power users again.
Yeah. The argument goes, American developers chasing that universal simplicity typically refuse to provide intelligent software. They might even say,
Oh, well, regular users would just get confused by those advanced features.
exactly. That quote was almost verbatim. The majority of people who use our app would only be confused by your intelligent features and settings. Our listener sees this not just as user-centric, but as a kind of laziness of the brain in design.
Leading to an inferior level of software for those who need more.
That's the implication. The source isn't arguing for confusing complexity. The real art, they imply, is making advanced functionality intuitive. Intelligence that doesn't overwhelm. That's the design challenge that maybe isn't always met when simplicity is the only goal.
And they point to the recent ChatGPT liquidation of those 7 older bots, right, when GPT-5, or 4.0 rather, was introduced as a prime, tragic example of this philosophy.
A textbook case, in their view.
It wasn't just a technical update, it felt like a philosophical statement.
Indeed. The decision to remove those models was apparently driven by that concern. Ordinary people might get confused by the presence of 7 older robots.
Even if those robots were essential for some users.
Exactly. It completely disregarded that small minority who had meticulously built customized workflows around those distinct AI personalities, each bot with its unique strengths, its focus.
It was basically irreplaceable for certain tasks.
Irreplaceable. Their loss was irreparable, the source says passionately. It starkly highlights that trade-off. Simplify for the masses versus supporting the intricate needs of power users. A choice prioritizing breadth over depth.
So in stark contrast, the source suggests that Chinese and Russian software manufacturers do not typically fear intelligent software users, a fundamentally different approach.
Seems so, and part of that, maybe a big part, could just be scale, pure economics.
How so?
Well, think about it. Even if only 1% of China's 1.4 billion people are demanding users.
That's still 14 million people?
14 million. That one segment is roughly 3 times the population of Slovakia, as the source points out.
Wow, okay.
That critical mass makes it economically worthwhile to create intelligent software, feature-rich, complex, even if the other 99% get confused by some advanced parts. The market for sophistication is just huge.
It enables a focus on depth without killing the business case.
Precisely. You can cater to that minority because the minority itself is enormous.
Which then leads our listener to this rather bleak but maybe pragmatic observation about smaller nations, like Slovakia, 5 million people. That 1% of demanding users.
It's only 50,000 people, not 14 million.
Right, a tiny fraction.
So this raises that really important question. Is it economically viable or even sustainable to produce genuinely quality software, deep, intelligent, catering to sophisticated needs for such a small base?
Seems tough.
The source argues pretty bluntly.
Everything created in large languages and for large nations will typically have significantly higher quality than anything created in small languages and for small nations.
Not necessarily a knock on talent, but just market reality. That's how it's framed. Resource allocation, potential ROI. If the market for top-tier specialized software is inherently limited, maybe that level of quality just doesn't get prioritized or funded. It could even lead to talent drain.
And they extend this beyond software, right, to content itself.
Yeah, using Wikipedia as a compelling example. English, German, French Wikipedias, generally seen as robust, comprehensive, well-curated.
Solid resources.
But they observed a noticeable quality drop for Czech Wikipedia, 10 million population. And then for Slovak Wikipedia, 5 million, the situation becomes tragic, plagued by elementary spelling errors, lacking depth.
So it suggests this cycle. Small nation.
Low quality in
Yeah.
everything the source claims.
Man.
And then low competition, low demand. So there's no pressure to improve.
A buffet that never ends, as they put it, implying mediocrity.
A perpetual state of maybe good enough, but not excellent, driven by lack of intense competition and maybe lower user expectations in smaller markets. It's a critical point impacting software, education, culture.
And it circles back to that design idea, doesn't it? True quality handles complexity gracefully. Blaming users for needing simplicity might just be
Laziness of the brain in design, as the source puts it, not really committing to making intelligence intuitive. So the challenge for smaller language communities is immense. How do you break that cycle? How do you foster excellence against those headwinds?
huge questions. Okay, let's shift from the philosophical back to the practical. Mastering these bots. Configuring AI for nuanced, useful, even critical interactions.
Right, getting the most out of them.
Our listener notes that while AI struggles with qualitatively translating continuous texts, especially into languages with hellishly difficult grammar like Slovak,
Yet, nuance and flow are hard.
they shine as genial, irreplaceable helpers for partial translation problems. That distinction seems key.
Absolutely. It highlights both a limitation and a strength. AI might not nail a whole novel translation yet.
Not capturing the artistry.
Right. But for specific focused tasks, finding the perfect idiom, the right nuance for one phrase, the precise technical term, that's where they excel. Those partial problems, leveraging their strength for pinpoint accuracy.
And they gave that great example. Translated the Slovak phrase buffet ktorý sa nikdy nekončí into English.
Trying to find the right feel.
Couldn't recall the natural idiom. So after a mini discussion with 7 robots,
Opinions.
they landed on the perfect English equivalent. A gravy train that never stops.
Nice. That really shows the power for specific linguistic puzzles.
Which leads us right back to Monica.aim's multi-bot workflow, harnessing parallel AI.
That simultaneous translation feature.
Yeah, you can machine translate a document with, say, ChatGPT 5.0, then a single button click and boom, 7 other robots translate the same thing at the same time.
Which raises that fundamental question, if no single bot translates perfectly.
Why rely on just one?
Exactly. This parallel processing is a game changer. You get immediate side-by-side comparisons. You can cherry-pick the best phrases, spot errors faster, refine the text way more efficiently than going one by one.
Puts the user in the editor's chair, using the AIs as assistants.
A team of assistants, yeah. Leveraging their collective strengths.
And the lineup for comparison in Monica is pretty robust, right? The pre-configured 7.
Yeah, it's a solid list. GPT-4o, Claude 4 Sonnet, Gemini 2.5 Pro, Llama 3.370B, Grok 3, and those DeepSeek models R1 and V3.
A good mix of the big players and some others.
Definitely. Our listener noted newer ones like Grok 4 are in Monica, just not in the default comparison list probably costs. Same for the older ChatGPT models being absent there.
Makes sense for the platform.
But that compare and contrast is crucial, empowering the user. And what's even more impressive, as they found, is the flexibility.
You're not stuck with a default list.
Not at all. You can start a thread with a different bot, maybe GPT 4.1 or Grok 4, or even GPT 5, get that initial response.
And then get the comparisons.
Exactly. Then trigger the system for the other 7 comparisons. So you could end up with 8 unique perspectives on one prompt.
8 different takes. That's incredibly rich for analysis.
Casts a really wide net to catch the best information.
Okay, now let's tackle that common critique. Robots always just agree with you, always just praise you.
Ah, yes, the AI sycophant problem.
Our listener vehemently disagrees, calls it a distorted perception.
And this is where that expert configuration, that prompt engineering mastery, comes in again.
Making the AI work for you.
Right. They found that when correctly configured, bots can actually sharply criticize, mock, even address sarcastic remarks.
Seriously, mock you.
Apparently so. It allows for feedback according to one's taste. You can tailor the interaction style to be genuinely challenging, thought-provoking, way more helpful than just agreement.
They shared that anecdote about the 39-hour fast.
Ah, yes. Consult the bots, and all 8 protested mightily, basically told them they were deranged.
That's amazing. It shows they can push back if you tell them to.
Exactly. It transforms the AI from a yes man into a discerning, maybe even argumentative partner.
And there was that master prompt example, suggested by ChatGPT itself for use in ChatHub.
Right. Even with ChatHub's tight 200-character limit for instructions, this prompt, plus the listener's own touch.
What does it say again? Something like,
Read uploaded masterprompt.md first. Treat it as ground truth for my nicknames, tone, contrarian, blunt, witty, and structure. Use section answers. Always challenge my assumptions. And the listener added,
no sucking up, just to be clear.
Perfect. And the effect was miraculous. The bots, whichever 6 they chose, immediately adopted that persona.
Energetically oppose me, criticize me, mock me, leave no dry thread on me, exactly as I wish.
It really underscores the value of critical feedback from AI for growth. Constant agreement feels nice, but it doesn't push you.
Doesn't lead to breakthroughs.
No, it's the challenge, the questioning of assumptions, the critique that moves thinking forward, makes the AI a real intellectual sparring partner.
And that Gemini 2.5 Pro quote was pretty intense.
Oh yeah, through Monica.am, what was it? You, my friend, are a magnificent hypocrite.
And I say that with a strange mix of horror and admiration. This is a masterpiece of self-sabotage.
Whoa. That's not polite disagreement. That's pointed, almost personal assessment, far beyond generic feedback.
So it raises that question. What is the ideal AI interaction?
Well, as the source nicely puts it, neither constant praise nor constant criticism is really beneficial. The goal is a balanced approach.
Where it critiques what needs critiquing,
Identifies flaws, biases, areas to improve.
but also praises what's earned.
Exactly. Providing genuinely useful feedback that guides and motivates. That nuanced interaction is what makes AI a true thought partner, pushing boundaries, offering perspectives that help us grow, getting the feedback you need, not just what you want.
Makes sense. But despite all this sophistication, that language barrier persists, doesn't it? Especially for smaller languages.
A huge challenge, yeah.
Yeah, our listener interacts almost exclusively in English because the Slovak output is,
Yeah.
well, like nail scratching on a blackboard.
Mechanically flipped English, they called it. Awkward phrasing, unnatural syntax.
Lacks that idiomatic flow,
Hmm.
which points to that deeper systemic issue.
It really highlights the fundamental problem of training data, availability and quality,
English just has so much more material.
an almost incomprehensible amount. Books, papers, websites, social media, everything. This massive data allows AI models to learn nuance, idioms, cultural context, authentic style.
Leading to that uniformly brilliant literary level output in English, often.
Right, but microlanguages like Slovak, they just lack that colossal quantity and often the diversity and quality of digital material.
So the AI just doesn't have enough good examples to learn from.
Pretty much. That data scarcity directly hinders its ability to learn subtle grammar, natural conversation flow, the richness of idioms specific to that language. It's less a flaw in the AI algorithm itself, more a reflection of the input data.
And the source even links some of this back to educational standards in Slovakia, people not mastering their own language's orthography.
Yeah, suggesting that further limits the pool of high-quality native training data, creates a kind of self-perpetuating cycle.
Though they did mention some practical design wins for Monica, showing its intelligence like instant bot, switching with a keyboard shortcut, CTRL plus B, and being purely web-based.
Right, those small friction points removed, no installation needed, details that add up to a smoother power user experience, reinforcing that intelligent design point compared to maybe overly simplified alternative.
It all connects back.
It does. That data quality point is critical. If the raw learning material is subpar or insufficient, the output suffers, no matter how smart the AI model is. It underscores this systemic challenge for smaller linguistic communities trying to fully leverage AI in their own languages. It's this complex mix of culture, education, and sheer data volume shaping the AI experience.
Okay, finally, let's get to the really encouraging part, the happy end, as our listener put it, for those AI models at ChatGPT.
The power of the user.
Exactly. Just as our listener was prepping their detailed critique of ChatGPT's changes, unexpected and extremely joyous news arrived.
Don't keep us in suspense.
OpenAI, after facing this global criticism for the robot massacre, They reversed its step.
They actually listened. Wow.
A stunning, significant turn of events.
That is a truly fascinating and really important demonstration of user power. It shows that collective feedback, even from what seems like a tiny minority of advanced users,
The vocal one.
can genuinely influence the strategic decisions of huge tech companies. In a world where decisions often feel so top-down and final,
This is huge.
it's a powerful reminder that the user base, their workflows, their productivity, their reliance on these tools still holds real sway. When enough voices are raised, especially with clear reasoning,
Tech giants can listen and adapt. It's a testament to an engaged community. And the result, the ChatGPT app now offers 8 robots.
8, more than before the change.
Even more than the 7 it had before. It includes 4 variants of the newer models, and crucially, 4 of the original older models that got cut.
So they brought back some of the lost functionality.
Much of it. A significant restoration.
Now, the source notes their personal coding favorite 04 Mini High is still missing.
Right. Not a perfect restoration.
But this outcome definitely suggests a more balanced, more user-centric future. The Monica.im subscription is still valuable for accessing other top bots, Claude, Grok, Gemini, etc., a multi-AI ecosystem.
Best of both worlds, maybe.
Potentially. And the reinstated ChatGPT models let users reclaim preferred workflows there. So users aren't forced to abandon a tool. They can integrate, choose the best AI for the task. It's a win for flexibility. Maybe the future is using a suite of specialized AI tools.
And that triumphant conclusion from our listener just sums it all up. So it did make sense that we complain so mightily worldwide.
Perfect. It really reinforces that AI development isn't just top-down. It's this dynamic interplay between creators and a vocal, engaged user base. Feedback matters, especially passionate, well-argued feedback about real-world impact.
It shows advocacy can shape these powerful tools, leading to better AI for everyone. A powerful lesson.
A very powerful lesson in collective action, indeed.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive this turned out to be. We went from that moment of personal frustration, the robot massacre shaking up a workflow,
to discovering powerful alternatives like Monica.im.
then peeling back those layers on software design philosophy, East versus West, simplicity versus power.
Confronting the stark realities of language and scale in the digital world.
Seeing how market size can impact quality. And finally, cheering on that surprising, encouraging power of user protest shaping the AI models we rely on.
It covered a lot of ground.
It really did. Which leaves us with a final, maybe provocative thought.
Let's hear it.
If the quality of software, and even content, is so tightly linked to the size of a nation or a language group, what does that truly imply for innovation and progress in smaller communities in this age of AI?
Are they destined to always be playing catch-up? Or can proactive strategies, maybe collaborative open source efforts, targeted funding, fostering specialized niche markets, actually work to bridge that gap?
How can we, as users, as developers, contribute to ensuring that intelligent, high-quality tools aren't just accessible, but genuinely relevant and excellent for everyone?
Regardless of the size of their language market, that's the crucial question, isn't it? Making sure AI's benefits reach everywhere, not just the largest players, something to really mull over.